Hey, I'm Mitch Gallagher from Sweetwater. We are coming to you from Winter NAMM 2018. We're in the PRS booth. This is Mark Tremonti. It's great to see you, Mark.
Great to see you. Thanks for having me.
You bet. Thanks for taking time to sit down. I know it's a busy show.
Yeah, no, it's an honor to be with you guys and here to show our new products. So.
You got some cool stuff coming out under your name, along with PRS, of course.
Absolutely. It's super excited about relaunching this guitar, but I'm most excited about the new amp and couldn't be happier with it.
Right on. So tell us a little bit about your association with PRS. You've been with the company for a long time.
We got together maybe around '99 or so. I got approached by Jeff Lanahan, and he asked me if I'd like to play one of their guitars. So he sent me a McCarty, and absolutely love it. Still have it to this day, write on it constantly. But on stage, I need to have my switch up here. I need to have my knobs in a certain spot. I just grew up with a different format, and so they sent me a few other guitars, and after about 3 guitars, they're like, "How about we just make you one the way you want it? You know, I give you a signature model." And at that time, it was Carlos Santana who was the only guy with the signature model. So I was this young guy just blown away with that offer, and ever since then, it's been you know, a gear dream come true. So it's I think when Paul and the rest of the folks started making amplifiers, was just around the time I kind of came around to thinking, you know, let's do a SIG amp, and because I'm an amp fanatic. I don't want to build an amp and then all of a sudden somebody else comes out with something better and I can't play it because I've got a name on something. So I saw that the lunchbox style amps were kind of the hot thing right now. So I said, perfect. I'll do a lunchbox style amp, make it the best I possibly can. I'm still playing whatever amps I'm playing on stage because of the 100-watt style. But now that we have this thing dialed in, it sounds better than all my 100-watt amps. It's exactly what I want. And I'm trying to, you know, Paul jokes that we're just releasing this, but we're already talking about the 100-watt, but it's not in, you know, it's not in the making yet, but it's going to be.
Nice.
Well, I say it's going to be everybody at PRS Smith, but it's, you know, I think everybody's digging this amp so much that I think it's just a no-brainer to do the you know, the 100-watt version.
So tell us what you were looking for as you thought about this amplifier and started kind of designing in your mind what it to be.
Yeah, you know, when it first came in, I went up to the factory, and they had I had told them the style of amps I was playing. I was playing Mesa Boogie rectifiers, Bogner Ubershaws. I was playing, you know, I told them the style that I was looking for, what I liked and disliked about certain brands and whatnot. So they put together a little amp. It had 6 V6s, and first thing I said was, "Can we put 6L6s in there? Because that's my sound, 6L6s." And they said, "Well, sure we can." So we did that. I looked at these little transformers I had in there. I said, "Can we make it a bigger transformer?" I said, "Sure, we can do that." We put a bigger transformers in there, and then I heard, you know, we plugged it in. I would dial the amp in to sound how I want the best it would sound for the way it was, and then I'd say tweak that so it all would sound great at 12 o'clock. Right. Give them, you know, a few hours to fix that. Then I'd come back in, tweak it again. We did about 12 revisions. We'd mail it back and forth to my home so I could play it, you know, with my favorite cabs and my favorite environments. And so I probably did about 12 revisions of this amp. And then it got to the aesthetics of it. I still have the prototype at home. It's just a box with a, you know, it looks like just a beat up old thing. But I tracked the last Alter Bridge record with it, and it sounds identical to this. So with the aesthetics, I want it to be an industrial, nice, clean, no nonsense, light, portable amp. I thought it would be cool to have the lights change when you change channel, so it goes, you know, from the red to blue. You know, red channel is the dirty channel. Blue is the clean channel. When you're on the clean channel, I wanted to have a push-pull so you can have a little overdriven tone added onto the clean. So it's kind of like a 3-channel amp and a 2-channel setup. With the cleans, I wanted to have a ton of headroom. I play a lot with my fingers, so I wanted to have kind of a Fender Twinny, high-end, bright, shimmery high-end, but it's also got a lot of low-end to it. So it's, I tend to turn the low-end down a little bit on my clean channel because it's just such a big sound. When you go over to the dirty channel on a 51 amp, sometimes it overpowers the dirty channel. So I keep that bass turned down a little bit. On the dirty channel, I wanted to have all the percussive low-end bite of you know, something that's going to push air, you know, and a lot of times my favorite amps that push the most air, the lead tone kind of bites your head off. So I wanted to somehow find that perfect balance between the ballsy rhythm tone and the sweet lead tone, and we did the best we could. And everybody's, this is, like I said, this is the first time I've seen people plug into this thing, and I've seen the response. I'm very happy with how it's turned out, and yeah,
right.
Super psyched.
Can you give us a little demo of what it sounds like?
Yeah. So I'm on the clean channel right now. Nice big clean, no breakup at all. But if you want a little breakup, you can just pull this knob out and kind of do, finger style. So it's snappier, it's got just that nice little classy overdriven tone. And then when you go to the dirty channel, this is where we spent most of the time dialing in the amp. It's I don't know how loud we can put it in this room, but I'm going to scare everybody off for a minute. So like I said, I want it to be percussive, but not harsh. So, like I said, it's when I was checking it, I would do the horse gallopy stuff and the tremolo picking stuff and make sure it's all defined. And then do some just hit a note and hold it and make sure it sustains and make sure it's not bright and harsh. And I think we pulled it off.
What's impressive to me listening to it is also the clarity. When you're playing a chord, the notes all ring.
Yes.
It doesn't turn into just a wash.
Absolutely. I think it's, especially for this price point, I can't imagine an amp that I'd rather play.
Right. So I'm curious, normally in an amp like this, as you mentioned, you'd see 6V6s to give you 15 watts. 6L6s are typically going to give you a lot more power. Obviously, they're doing something technically there to be able to use those 6L6s, but what is it tonally that you're looking from the 6L6?
It's just a big boulder. It's what I'm used to. It's what I've grown up on. It's just got a warm punch to it. It's got a certain sag to it that I like. It's somewhere in between the KT88 and the EL34. It's got the sweetness of the 34, but the punch of the KT88, but the sag of the 34, not the 88. It's my sweet spot, for tubes. And I thought for sure we weren't be able to put 6L6s in a little lunchbox amp, but when they said, yeah, we can make it work, we just got to make the chassis a little bigger, I said, let's do that for certain. And this thing has 5 gain stages before the master. It's got 5 12AX7s in there. When you see the lunchbox amps, a lot of them are just, 1 6V6 and just nothing much to it. It's just got a lot of depth and a lot of versatility. It's, like I said, I used it on the last Alter Bridge record, so it's perfect for the studio. If you're using in-ears live, put an ISO box on this amp, it's going to sound amazing for $600. So.
Right. And easy to haul around.
Easy to haul around, yeah. Oh, yeah.
So tell us about the return of the SE.
The SE, when we first came out with it, was it was a huge hit. People loved it, and we took it off the market for about a year or so just because we wanted to revamp it. And Paul likes to keep on redoing the tuners, redoing the bridges or the pickups and this and that. So we decided it was time to after, I don't know how many years it was, 17 years, to redo the design, and we did it, and it looks and feels like the American-made version. The old version was narrower. It's all mahogany. It's the pickups just seem closer to the American version. It plays better. It feels better. It's got the routed out trem like I like it, so I can turn the trem backwards and do some trickery, But no, it's another thing that we're very proud of.
Right on. So obviously you have delved deeply into gear, deeply into tone. If there's one recommendation you can make for a player who wants to find their own tone, where should they focus?
Their own tone. You know, I think it's all in your fingers. You know, I think you got to decide what kind of player you are. If you're I see there's players that want that old school rock and roll sound and they like the Marshall type of world, and then there's guys like me that want to do the kind of punchier, bolder sounding stuff, and that's just two people like one thing or the other. But if you want to find your own sound, a lot of times unplug your amp and just see how you sound just playing the guitar. You know, it's a lot of it's. You can put 17 different people on here, you're going to get 17 different amp tones on 17 different styles of playing, and it's going to sound vastly different, you know, so it's, but you got to have an amp that's not going to hold you back. So.
Right. Very cool. Man, we're so excited about the new amp. I think it's going to do tremendously well because obviously it sounds great, and you've put a lot of thought and work into designing it. So congratulations on that, and congratulations on the return of the SE as well.
Thank you, sir. Appreciate that.
And thanks for sitting down with us. We appreciate your time. Will you play out a little bit for us? Sure. Right on. Thank you for joining me at Winter NAMM 2018. Mark Tremonti.